Fire and brimstone falling from the skies, rivers and seas boiling, 40 years of darkness, volcanoes, earthquakes, the dead rising from the grave, human sacrifice, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. But enough about the Brexit. Hello, welcome to Views and Reviews. I apologise for the lack of content for the last few months, but life kind of got in the way. Hopefully, normal service has now resumed, so you'll be seeing a lot of this face and a lot of my random ramblings. So, without further ado, let's go to some reviews. So, what difference a few months make? The last time I did one of these, we were still in the EU. Okay, technically we are still in the EU, but we're, starting to pack up our things, clearing our desks, trying to steal a stapler. It's a bit weird still, in terms of what's going on. Seemingly everyone who wanted this to happen has decided to do a very hasty exit stage left, or right, or just somewhere that doesn't involve actually achieving anything other than screwing the whole country up. But that's just me being a little bit annoyed with Boris Johnson, David Cameron. We seem to be getting a PM that no one's voted for. Yay democracy. You can just feel the change. You can feel us getting our country back. Still a bit of a shock that it happened. I think everyone is dealing with that still, and obviously the other side thinks it's a lot of sour grapes. But I can't help but feel if the roles were reversed, there'll be the same amount of sour grapes. I think there'll be fewer people leaving their positions of power, but that's for an alternate universe to decide. But I do get the feeling we are now definitely somewhere closest to the darkest timeline. Never mind. Could be worse. Could have President Trump. Moving on. If there's something strange in your neighbourhood, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters has been remade. Now, I know that's not going to be a shock to anyone who's been on the internet for the last couple of months, last year in fact. The reboot, remake, redo of Ghostbusters is now out, and I have just seen it literally about half an hour or so ago. And I was on the let's see what happens camp. I was not one of these people who were shouting about their childhood being robbed, how it was all wrong, how it's the original film is such a sacred piece of cinema that it can't be touched by anyone, because everyone's, especially with girly hands, because they might smudge the golden luster or whatever. But it was horrible, the reaction to just the trailer. I mean, it's the most hated, the most disliked video on YouTube, and this is a website that has videos of Piers Morgan on it. So how that can have fewer dislikes is beyond my comprehension. But regardless, so yes, I went into the film very open-minded. I love the original. It's probably top 20 overall somewhere, and probably top 10 in terms of all-time comedies. So for me, it did have a lot to live up for. But I am aware of what is going on with Hollywood at the minute. They're running out of original ideas, or they're not confident to put a lot of money into original ideas. They need brand recognition. So that's why you've got sequels and prequels and reboots, all over the place. And you've got remakes of remakes. I mean, there's a French remake of The Sweeney starring Jean Reno. There is a French remake of The Sweeney starring Jean Reno. You know, from Lyon. It's a thing. So, of all the things to be remade, yes, Ghostbusters is a bit of a hard act to follow. But if you're gonna do it, you might as well get, you know, a talented writer director like Paul Feig behind the scenes, and a group of talented actresses in front of the camera. And you know what? That's what he's done. The cast are great. The story is a kind of retelling of the origin of the Ghostbusters. They're all different characters. They're all different names. They're very different backgrounds, and that's nice. You know, what is quite interesting is how the familiar elements kind of slowly drip into the film. You know, the logo, the firehouse, all that kind of stuff, and while at one point you could say it's a little bit too slavish to the original, it had to be. Of all the films to be like that, that was it. You know, RoboCop I think missed the mark by being a little bit too self-referential to the original movie. See also Total Recall. This, however, they're the nice nods. You know, they've got original cast members back as different characters, and they're all kind of short, funny little beats. And yeah, I laughed a lot, especially during the second half, once everything kind of settled into a nice flow. Once the first sort of act kicks is done with, the pace really does pick up. Initially it falls down that very modern comedy. A lot of Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig are kind of part of the improv comedy. So you can tell where lines have been kind of like workshopped while the camera's rolling. And unfortunately, what that does occasionally do is leave really uncomfortable pauses. Which I think is where the audience are meant to laugh, but given it's a cinema and not a theatre, you can't always gauge where those quiet bits really should be. Being a modern comedy, it has a lot of familiar faces as well, who pop up in kind of little bits, and they're all very funny with their own sort of couple of minutes. But the most valuable player for me is Kate McKinnon, who's outstanding as the tech sort of heavy character. He just gives all as well as the proton packs, you know, because it's all modern, it gives them even more tools to help busting, make them feel good. But yeah, I see. This is the thing. I think if you're one of these people who got very angry and got kind of on your soapbox and got your pitchforks and fires and torches and everything like that about this sacrilege of remaking the Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd written, Ivan Reitman directed original, don't go and see it. Okay, your custom is not needed for this film to be a failure or a success. I think it's going to be a success. I think positive word of mouth is going to be out. It's also coming out on a Monday, which means it's going to have a week and a bit's worth of box office as counting as 1 week. So it's a bit of a cheat, but I think it needs it. I think it needs that kind of, yes, it's actually quite good. It's not perfect. Like I say, some of the comedy just doesn't quite hit. Some of the modern references, I think, are going to be dated. Are going to date a lot quicker than some of the references from the original film. Melissa McCarthy, I really like how she's really reined it in. So she's almost like the straight girl to the rest of the comedy, which really works in her favour. But yeah, it's funny. It's funny. It's got lots of ghosts. The effects are great. The 3D is actually quite effective. I never thought I'd be saying that, especially about a Ghostbusters reboot. But yes, And yes, there is an end credit scene. Not really worth staying to watch it, but the few bits sort of like before the end credits are quite nice. The music's good as well. Obviously Ray Parker Jr.'s song is in there. I mean, this is a song that's kind of so embedded in sort of like our culture that all it takes is a couple of seconds from the song and you'll be busting, moving the dance floor. Or maybe that's just me. Hey, thank you for watching. You can find more of my random ramblings at my blog. A link to it should be below. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram now, so if you want to see photos of beer and food, at My So-Called Brain is where you want to go. I've got a Facebook page, give it a like. And yes, so thank you again for watching, and until next time, laters. Feel good, man. I don't feel no ghost.